Have you ever seen a simple act of kindness transform a moment of heartache into a beacon of hope? Picture this: a humble worker at a neighborhood market, struggling to overcome harsh words and painful memories, is suddenly lifted by the unexpected intervention of Keanu Reeves. His quiet strength and genuine compassion not only soothe the pain but spark a wave of unity among the bystanders. What would you do if you witnessed such a powerful moment? Comment 1 if you believe kindness always triumphs, or 2 if you think there's more to the story, and let us know where you're watching from. Welcome to Motivation for Success. If you haven't yet joined our community, hit subscribe now for more stories that inspire us to be our best selves. On a brisk autumn afternoon, the world outside shimmered with the muted golds and soft ambers of falling leaves. Inside Evergreen Market, a modest, family-owned grocery store that served as the heart of the community, the atmosphere was equally warm and inviting. The expansive windows allowed slivers of sunlight to dance across the polished tiled floor, while the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sweet scent of just-baked bread. Every corner of the store pulsed with gentle life, the hum of friendly chatter, the rhythmic beeps of cash registers, and the soft murmur of casual greetings between neighbors. Evergreen Market wasn't just a place to buy groceries, it was a sanctuary where locals found solace and connection. The shelves, meticulously organized and brimming with colorful produce, invited customers to slow down, take a deep breath, and appreciate the small wonders of daily life. It was into this haven of light and life that our story unfolds. At the center of this bustling space was Alex, a young man with Down syndrome whose presence was as gentle as a soft breeze on a warm day. Though his steps were measured and his pace sometimes slower than those around him, Alex carried an inner light that shone through every action. Dressed in a crisp, neatly ironed uniform and a carefully buttoned apron, he worked behind the checkout counter with a dedication that transformed every routine task into an act of love. Alex's hands moved with deliberate care as he scanned each item and bagged groceries. Every movement, however small, was imbued with the determination of someone who believed that every act, no matter how humble, could change the world. In his eyes, each customer wasn't just a transaction, but a person worthy of kindness and respect. Even when whispered remarks about his slower pace floated around him, Alex's resolve never wavered. Deep within, he carried the belief that his value was not measured by speed or perfection, but by the sincerity of his heart. On this particular day, Alex was immersed in his work. The familiar rhythm of the store's operations, the beep of the scanner, the soft hum of background music, and the occasional murmur of gratitude from regular customers, created a comforting cadence that allowed him to lose himself in the simple joy of service. Just as the day seemed to settle into its gentle routine, the automatic doors of Evergreen Market slid open with a soft whoosh, signaling the arrival of Nicole, a woman whose very presence carried the weight of impatience and unyielding authority. In her mid-40s and impeccably dressed in a sharply tailored suit and high heels that clicked forcefully against the tiled floor, Nicole cut a striking figure. Her eyes, dark and cold, swept over the store as if she were searching for imperfections to condemn. Nicole moved briskly through the aisles, her every step exuding a sense of urgency that contrasted sharply with the calm, measured pace of the rest of the market. As she approached the checkout counter where Alex was diligently working, the ambient warmth of the store seemed to falter. Nicole's gaze locked onto Alex with a piercing intensity, and without a word, she began unloading her items onto the counter. Each product she placed created a jarring contrast against Alex's careful, methodical motions. "Good morning," Alex offered in his soft, unassuming way, an attempt to bring a little brightness into the moment, despite the evident tension. But Nicole's reply was as sharp as ice. "I hope your good morning is as good as your service," she snapped. "I don't have all day. Are you even paying attention, or do you need someone else to do your job?" Her words cut through the gentle atmosphere like shards of broken glass, leaving a trail of discomfort in their wake. For a heartbeat, time seemed to slow as the harshness of her tone echoed off the walls. Other customers in line exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions a mixture of empathy and apprehension. Some instinctively lowered their eyes or turned to their phones, unwilling to become entangled in the brewing storm of disdain. In that charged silence, the true cost of unkind words became painfully clear. In that moment, every harsh word from Nicole resonated deeply within Alex, stirring memories he had long tried to keep hidden. He recalled the countless afternoons when he had felt unseen and unappreciated, a child who was told he was never good enough. The painful echoes of those old wounds, the ones inflicted by voices that had once belittled him, surged forward like a tidal wave. Alex's hands began to tremble as he fumbled with the items. A small bag slipped from his grasp, thudding softly against the floor, a sound that, in the oppressive quiet of the moment, felt like the shattering of a fragile heart. As he bent down to retrieve it, tears threatened to spill over. In his mind, he replayed the harsh judgments of the past, the whispered, "You're too slow," the dismissive smiles, the stinging remarks that had slowly chipped away at his confidence. Yet, even as the pain threatened to overwhelm him, a quiet inner voice whispered words of resilience. "I am more than their words," he reminded himself. "My worth is not defined by impatience or cruelty." In that private battle, every trembling breath was a testament to his inner strength, a strength that, though battered by cruelty, refused to be extinguished. Just as the heavy atmosphere reached its most suffocating point, when Alex's despair was nearly palpable, the automatic doors opened once more, this time, ushering in an unexpected savior. There, bathed in the soft glow of the afternoon sun, stood Keanu Reeves. Known worldwide not only for his iconic film roles but also for his quiet dignity and profound compassion, Keanu had come to Evergreen Market without fanfare or pomp. Keanu's entrance was subtle yet commanding. He did not stride in with a forceful announcement, instead, he moved with a gentle assurance, as if guided by a deep, unspoken purpose. His presence radiated warmth and understanding, immediately drawing the attention of every customer in line. Even Nicole, who moments before had been the embodiment of impatience, found herself momentarily disarmed by the unexpected aura of kindness that surrounded him. "Is everything all right here?" Keanu asked softly, his voice a harmonious blend of concern and quiet authority. His eyes, kind and unwavering, fell on Alex, recognizing the vulnerability and the quiet courage in his trembling gaze. In that brief, charged moment, it was as if the world paused, the relentless pace of time halting to honor the healing power of genuine compassion. Nicole, taken aback by this sudden intervention, tried to muster her customary scorn. "Everything's fine if you don't mind waiting forever," she declared, her voice quivering slightly as she faced Keanu's calm gaze. But the iciness of her tone faltered, replaced by a dawning uncertainty. Keanu's gentle smile did not waver. "I'm sure Alex is doing his very best," he replied, his tone both kind and firm. "Sometimes, a little patience and understanding can make all the difference." His words flowed over the room like a soothing balm, softening even the hardest edges of tension and inviting empathy to take root. As Keanu spoke, the energy in the room began to shift perceptibly. An elderly gentleman, his eyes moist with unshed tears, stepped forward from the back of the line. "We've all had days when everything seems overwhelming," he said in a voice that trembled with both sadness and hope. "Let's give this young man the respect and compassion he deserves. After all, every one of us has struggled in our own way." His words, gentle yet powerful, resonated with the onlookers. Faces that had been closed off by apprehension now softened, and murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. A young woman beside him leaned in, whispering to her friend, "It's moments like these that remind me we're all human, we all need a little kindness sometimes." The subtle nods and murmurs created a delicate tapestry of solidarity that began to overpower the earlier discord. Nicole, who had prided herself on her efficiency and control, found herself increasingly isolated by the growing wave of empathy. The biting edge of her tone dulled as she absorbed the genuine concern in Keanu's words and the supportive glances exchanged among the customers. Her eyes, once hard and unyielding, flickered with a hint of remorse as she slowly realized the impact of her own harshness. Keanu stepped closer to Alex, his presence a reassuring anchor amidst the storm. Placing a gentle hand on Alex's shoulder, he said, "Your work matters, Alex. Every careful, loving gesture you offer makes a difference. Remember, you are valued not for how fast you work, but for the kindness you share with us all." His voice, tender yet unwavering, filled the space with an undeniable warmth that made even the coldest hearts pause. In that transformative moment, as the soft glow of empathy washed over the checkout line, Alex felt an unfamiliar surge of strength. He closed his eyes, taking a deep, shuddering breath as if to draw in every ounce of hope that floated in the air. With each beat of his heart, he recalled the painful memories of past dismissals, yet now, they were gradually being overshadowed by a profound sense of belonging and acceptance. For the first time in a long while, Alex allowed himself to feel truly seen. Every whispered word of encouragement, every supportive smile from the customers, became a gentle reminder that his life was far more than a series of mistakes or moments of vulnerability. In the quiet recesses of his mind, he whispered, "I am enough. I am loved, and my every effort matters." Even as tears threatened to spill, they no longer represented weakness, they were symbols of an overwhelming emotion, a deep gratitude for the unexpected kindness that had rekindled his inner light. The small, seemingly insignificant act of bagging groceries had transformed into a profound testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Across the room, the atmosphere had shifted from one of stifling judgment to a collective sense of healing. The soft hum of conversation resumed, now laced with compassion and understanding. Each customer, from the elderly gentleman to the young woman with bright eyes, was silently reaffirming the belief that kindness was a force powerful enough to mend even the deepest of wounds. Nicole, who had initially been the catalyst for so much of the pain, now stood at a crossroads. The protective wall of impatience and authority she had built around herself began to crumble under the weight of the empathy that filled the room. In a voice barely above a whisper, she murmured, I'm sorry." Though the apology was soft and tentative, it carried the weight of someone who was finally recognizing the impact of their actions. It was a small, fragile admission, yet it marked the beginning of a potential transformation, a chance to learn, to grow, and perhaps even to heal. Keanu, ever gentle in his approach, turned his kind gaze toward Nicole. "It takes great courage to admit when we're wrong," he said softly. "We all have our moments of weakness. What matters is that we learn from them and strive to be better." His words, imbued with wisdom and compassion, resonated in the silence that followed, offering Nicole a glimpse of redemption and the promise of change. As the afternoon waned and the soft hues of sunset began to paint the sky outside, Evergreen Market took on a serene, almost sacred quality. The harsh fluorescent lights gave way to the gentle glow of evening, and the once turbulent checkout area now exuded a calm, reflective quiet. The day had been one of profound transformation, a day when the simple act of doing one's job had become a battleground for empathy, and when an unexpected hero reminded everyone that every life was worth cherishing. Alex, now with a renewed sense of self, continued his work behind the counter. Each product he scanned and each bag he carefully packed was now done with an added layer of quiet dignity. In his mind, the echoes of past dismissals were slowly being replaced by the gentle chorus of support and validation. With every action, he was rebuilding his self-worth, piece by precious piece. Customers, too, were quietly changed. As they resumed their shopping, they carried with them a subtle but unmistakable shift in perspective. Conversations that had once centered around daily trivialities now often meandered into reflections on compassion and the power of small acts of kindness. In hushed tones, people discussed the significance of the moment, recognizing that what they had witnessed was not merely an incident in a grocery store, but a microcosm of a broader truth about human connection. As the golden hues of the setting sun stretched across the polished floors of Evergreen Market, a quiet stillness settled over the gathered crowd. The day had been long, filled with moments of struggle, kindness, and reflection. And now, as the last transactions were completed and the world outside began its slow descent into twilight, Keanu Reeves stood at the heart of it all, his presence calm, his voice steady, yet carrying a weight that resonated deeply. For a moment, he simply looked around, his eyes meeting those of the people who had shared in this unexpected yet profound day. Then, with the warmth of someone who understood the depths of both hardship and hope, he spoke. Today, we were reminded of something precious, that every challenge we face, every moment of struggle, is not a roadblock, but an invitation. An invitation to rise above, to extend kindness when it's needed most, and to recognize the quiet strength in each other. We are not defined by how quickly we move through life, nor by the mistakes we've made, but by the love we carry and the compassion we share. That is what truly matters. The air in the room seemed to hold his words, as if reluctant to let them fade. He continued, his voice low yet unwavering. No matter how dark a moment may seem, there is always light waiting to be kindled. Sometimes, that light comes in the form of a small act of care, a word, a gesture, a simple presence in someone's life. Never underestimate the power you hold to make a difference, no matter how small it may feel. Because, in the end, what we leave behind isn't the wealth we accumulate or the tasks we complete, it's the way we make others feel. The way we lift each other up. A hush fell over the store. For those present, this wasn't just another parting remark from a passing visitor. It was a call to remember, to carry something forward from this fleeting moment, a reminder that within the ordinary, there exists something extraordinary. As Keanu turned to leave, the sun's fading glow cast long shadows on the floor, but the light within each heart remained. Evergreen Market, a place of daily transactions and routine, had been transformed into something greater, a symbol of quiet resilience, a testament to the unseen but powerful force of human connection. And long after he was gone, his words lingered, carried beyond those four walls, whispered from person to person, heart to heart, an echo of something timeless, something that mattered. As the evening deepened and the doors of Evergreen Market slowly closed, the impact of that day lingered long after the lights had dimmed. For Alex, for Nicole, for every customer who had borne witness to the transformation, the day had etched an indelible mark on their souls, a reminder that every act of kindness, no matter how small, has the power to change lives. Before leaving the store, Keanu paused at the door, looking back over the gentle faces of those he had touched. Each of us has the power to be the light in someone's dark moment, he said softly. All it takes is a little empathy, a small act of kindness. Let's carry this light forward, every day, in every little thing we do. And so, as you read this story, reflect on its message. Ask yourself, what will you do when you see someone in need? Will you choose to be the spark that ignites change, or will you stand silently by? Every kind word, every act of understanding, ripples out into the world, creating waves of transformation that can reshape our communities and our lives. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe that even the smallest act of kindness can change the world? Comment 1 if you agree wholeheartedly, or 2 if you feel there's more to consider, and tell us where you're watching from. Your voice, your experience, matters deeply to us. The day at Evergreen Market had been long, filled with moments that ranged from piercing pain to overwhelming warmth, from quiet despair to soaring hope. It was a day when the ordinary was transformed into something extraordinary, when every human heart was reminded that our true strength lies not in our efficiency or our achievements, but in our capacity to love and be loved. Alex's quiet determination, Nicole's tentative apology, Keanu's compassionate intervention, and the subtle, supportive murmurs of the customers all converged to form a tapestry of human connection that was as beautiful as it was fragile. In this tapestry, every thread, every smile, every tear, every whispered word of encouragement, was essential, weaving together a story of resilience, redemption, and hope. As you go about your day, remember the lessons of this story. Let the memory of this moment inspire you to look for the spark of light in every situation, to offer kindness even when it's difficult, and to always recognize the profound value in every human soul. This story is more than just an account of a day at a grocery store. It is a reminder that each of us has a role to play in creating a world where compassion and understanding are the norm. Whether you are the one offering a gentle word to a struggling soul or standing up against unkindness when you see it, know that your actions matter. Your empathy can be the turning point in someone's life, a beacon that guides them through darkness into the light. So, as we close this chapter, I invite you once again to share your thoughts. What will you do today to make a positive impact? How will you choose kindness in the face of adversity? Let your heart speak, and let your actions be the legacy you leave behind. Thank you for joining us on Motivation for Success. If this story has touched your heart, please subscribe, share it with someone who might need a little inspiration, and join our community of those who believe that even the smallest act of kindness can spark a revolution of love. Let us all commit to turning every moment of challenge into an opportunity for hope and every act of compassion into a legacy of light. Remember, in every heart, there lies a spark of divinity, a light that can overcome the darkest of times. Stand up, speak out, and let your kindness shine, for in doing so, you not only uplift others, but you also transform the world, one compassionate act at a time. Stay inspired, stay kind, and always remember, every day gives us a new chance to be the hero someone needs. What will you do today to spread a little more light in the world? Share your thoughts, your hopes, and your plans in the comments below. Together, we can create a ripple of kindness that touches every heart, and together, we can change the world, one moment, one act of love at a time.